Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Signal with the hands or nod. She waved to her friends. Move or swing back and forth. She waved her gun. Physics, a movement up and down or back and forth. An undulating curve. One of a series of ridges that moves across the surface of a liquid, especially across a large body of water. Move in a wavy pattern or with a rising and falling motion. The waves rolled towards the beach. Twist or roll into coils or ringlets. The act of signaling by a movement of the hand. A hairdo that creates undulations in the hair. A member of the Women's Reserve of the United States Navy, originally organized during World War II but now no longer a separate branch. A movement like that of a sudden occurrence or increase in a specified phenomenon. A wave of settlers. A persistent and widespread unusual weather condition, especially of unusual temperatures. A heat wave. Set waves in. She asked the hairdresser to wave her hair. Something that rises rapidly. A wave of emotion swept over him. Signal with the hands or nod. Appear inviting. The shop window decorations beckoned. Summon with a wave, nod, or some other gesture. Move or swing back and forth. The act of waving. Exhibit aggressively. Brandish a sword. Music, a short lively tune played on brass instruments. He entered to a flourish of trumpets. Make steady progress. Be at the high point in one's career or reach a high point in historical significance or importance. Move or swing back and forth. The act of waving. Grow vigorously. A display of ornamental speech or language. An ornamental embellishment in writing. A showy gesture. She entered with a great flourish. Physics, a movement up and down or back and forth. An undulating curve. Wave-like motion, a gentle rising and falling in the manner of waves. One of a series of ridges that moves across the surface of a liquid, especially across a large body of water. The motion made by flapping up and down. A movable airfoil that is part of an aircraft wing, used to increase lift or drag. Move with a flapping motion. The bird's wings were flapping. Make a fuss, be agitated. An excited state of agitation. There was a terrible flap about the theft. Move in a wavy pattern or with a rising and falling motion. Move with a thrashing motion. The bird flapped its wings. A movable piece of tissue partly connected to the body. Any broad, thin and limber covering attached at one edge, hangs loose or projects freely. He wrote on the flap of the envelope. Move noisily. Flags flapped in the strong wind. Pronounce with a flap, of alveolar sounds. A list of names. His name was struck off the rolls. Move along on or as if on wheels or a wheeled vehicle. The president's convoy rolled past the crowds. Cause to move by turning over or in a circular manner of as if on an axis. She rolled the ball. Move by turning over or rotating. The child rolled down the hill. A deep prolonged sound, as of thunder or large bells. Small rounded bread, either plain or sweet. Show certain properties when being rolled. The carpet rolls unevenly. A roll of currency notes, often taken as the resources of a person or business, etc. He shot his roll on a bob-tailed nag. A long heavy sea wave as it advances towards the shore. Flatten or spread with a roller. Roll out the paper. The sound of a drum, especially a snare drum, beaten rapidly and continuously. Arrange or coil around. Roll your hair around your finger. The act of throwing dice. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. They rolled from town to town. Sell something to or obtain something from by energetic and especially underhanded activity. Boil vigorously. The water rolled. A round shape formed by a series of concentric circles, as formed by leaves or flower petals. The act of rolling something, as the ball in bowling. Move in a wavy pattern or with a rising and falling motion. The waves rolled towards the beach. A document that can be rolled up, as for storage. Rotary motion of an object around its own axis. Occur in soft rounded shapes. The hills rolled past. A flight maneuver. Aircraft rotates about its longitudinal axis without changing direction or losing altitude. Anything rolled up in cylindrical form. Begin operating or running. The cameras were rolling. Emit, produce, or utter with a deep prolonged reverberating sound. The thunder rolled. Execute a roll, in tumbling. The gymnasts rolled and jumped. Move, rock, or sway from side to side. The ship rolled on the heavy seas. Photographic film rolled up inside a container to protect it from light. Pronounce with a roll, of the phoneme, R. She rolls her R's. Shape by rolling. Roll a cigarette. Take the shape of a roll or cylinder. The carpet rolled out. Walking with a swaying gait. Stir up water, so as to form ripples. Move in a wavy pattern or with a rising and falling motion. The curtains undulated. Occur in soft rounded shapes. Having a wavy margin and rippled surface. Increase and decrease in volume or pitch, as if in waves. The singer's voice undulated. Wind around something in coils or loops. Form a curl, curve, or kink. The cigar smoke curled up at the ceiling. A round shape formed by a series of concentric circles, as formed by leaves or flower petals. American chemist who with Richard Smalley and Harold Kroto discovered fullerenes and opened a new branch of chemistry, born in 1933. Twist or roll into coils or ringlets. Curl my hair, please. A strand or cluster of hair. Shape one's body into a curl. She curled farther down under the covers. Play the Scottish game of curling. The act of signaling by a movement of the hand. The act of signaling by a movement of the hand. The act of changing location from one place to another. Police controlled the motion of the crowd. Show, express or direct through movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The cinema relies on apparent motion. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A formal proposal for action made to a deliberative assembly for discussion and vote. He made a motion to adjourn. The use of movements, especially of the hands, to communicate familiar or prearranged signals. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. The reflex motion of his eyebrows revealed his surprise. A state of change. They were in a state of steady motion. Show, express or direct through movement. He gestured his desire to leave. The use of movements, especially of the hands, to communicate familiar or prearranged signals. Motion of hands or body to emphasize or help to express a thought or feeling. Something done as an indication of intention. A political gesture. Show, express or direct through movement. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. Take the place of or have precedence over. Terminate the employment of. Discharge from an office or position. Cause to move, usually with force or pressure. The refugees were displaced by the war. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally. In a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. A euphemism for defecation. He had a bowel movement. A group of people with a common ideology who try together to achieve certain general goals. He was a charter member of the movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The succession of flashing lights gave an illusion of movement. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A general tendency to change, as of opinion. A broad movement of the electorate to the right. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. The movement to end slavery. A major self-contained part of a symphony or sonata. The second movement is slow and melodic. The act of changing the location of something. The movement of cargo onto the vessel. The driving and regulating parts of a mechanism, as of a watch or clock. It was an expensive watch with a diamond movement. The trace of a point whose direction of motion changes. The trace of a point whose direction of motion changes. Form a curl, curve, or kink. Turn sharply. Change direction abruptly. Curved segment, of a road or river or railroad track, etc. The property possessed by the curving of a line or surface. Bend or cause to bend. The road curved sharply. Extend in curves and turns. Form an arch or curve. Her hips curve nicely. A pitch of a baseball that is thrown with spin so that its path curves as it approaches the batter. A line on a graph representing data. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. The wrestler twisted his shoulder. A sharp strain on muscles or ligaments. Cause, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Twist the dough into a braid. Twist or pull violently or suddenly, especially so as to remove something from that to which it is attached or from where it originates. Form into a spiral shape. The cord is all twisted. Turning or twisting around, in place. With a quick twist of his head he surveyed the room. A miniature whirlpool or whirlwind resulting when the current of a fluid doubles back on itself. A circular segment of a curve. An interpretation of a text or action. To move in a twisting or contorted motion, especially when struggling. Extend in curves and turns. The path twisted through the forest. A hairdo formed by braiding or twisting the hair. The act of winding or twisting. A jerky pulling movement. Any clever maneuver. A sharp bend in a line produced when a line having a loop is pulled tight. An unforeseen development. Practice sophistry. Change the meaning of or be vague about in order to mislead or deceive. Don't twist my words. The act of rotating rapidly. It broke off after much twisting. Do the twist. Form into twists. Social dancing, in which couples vigorously twist their hips and arms in time to the music, was popular in the 1960s. They liked to dance the twist. Turn in the opposite direction. Twist one's head. The arrangement of the hair, especially a woman's hair. The arrangement of the hair, especially a woman's hair. The arrangement of the hair, especially a woman's hair. Arrange attractively. A skullcap worn by nuns under a veil or by soldiers under a hood of mail, or formerly by British sergeants at law. Cover with a coif. The arrangement of the hair, especially a woman's hair. Arrange attractively. The arrangement of the hair, especially a woman's hair. An adult female person, as opposed to a man. A human female employed to do housework. I have a woman who comes in 4 hours a day while I write. An adult female person, as opposed to a man. The woman kept house while the man hunted. Women as a class. It's an insult to American womanhood. A female person who plays a significant role, wife or mistress or girlfriend, in the life of a particular man. He was faithful to his woman. A member of a military reserve. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Gastrointestinal motility. Ability to move spontaneously and independently. The atmospheric conditions that comprise the state of the atmosphere in terms of temperature and wind and clouds and precipitation. Every day we have weather conditions, and yesterday was no exception. The prevailing context that influences the performance or the outcome of a process. There were wide variations in the conditions of observation. The set of circumstances that affect someone's welfare. Hazardous working conditions.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.